Hi, welcome to Baby's first PC build. And so here I wanted to record the journey and the whole process for building my PC over here. And this also goes out to anyone who doesn't really understand the whole PC building arena and everything with the terminology and the work that you have to put in. And so I thought I'd compile all, I guess, the basic information together here so that if you're also thinking about building a PC, you have a small starting point for what you're looking at and what you're going to be looking for. Now, my build, I wanted to be on the lower side pricing wise, and I also wanted something a little on the smaller end as well, just for the sake of like space. Now, my build, it cost around $800 to $900 total, and that is including discounts because I wanted to wait for things to go on sale. Now, 99.99% of the work was done by my PC building partner in crime. And they did all of the research and basically brought it all up to me on a little platter and just said, pick. So I could kind of customize from what they decided was pretty good. Now, starting with the terminology, just so you have like a little starting board, I just have everything lined out here for just a little visual aesthetic, but also so you can clearly see what I am talking about. Okay, so starting from the bottom left, we have this power supply unit, and that is essentially for all the electricity to come through into the PC. And that's kind of the long and the short of it. Next up is the graphics card, which when I heard graphics card, I thought it meant a tiny little SD card like you put in a digital camera. But no, it's this giant little thing, like this giant electric brick that you have to screw in. And that essentially is also called the GPU, but it provides for the visuals. Now, this isn't entirely required because sometimes your PC will already have visuals. This is mainly if you want nicer visuals, especially if you're going to be playing video games or like other stuff that you just need a strong visual component. Next is the CPU, which is essentially the brain and just processes everything. And under that is the motherboard, which is the backbone. And this is what everything kind of powers through, and this is how everything interconnects. And at the bottom we have on the left the RAM, which stands for random access memory, which is the short-term memory storage. So if you're like browsing or you've got like whatever is currently on there, short-term processing. Next up is the storage, which is the long-term memory, which holds everything from your important files, documents, and like game save files. It is also called the SSD or the solid state drive. Took me a second. And mine is currently at 1 terabyte of storage because that's essentially what I need. You could go higher if you foresee yourself needing a little bit more long-term storage. And then next to that is the CPU cooler, and as the name says, it is the cooling system of your PC and prevents overheating of the graphics card and everything else. And that piece, this one in particular, we chose because it has RGB lighting, so you have cool colors to cycle through. And sometimes you have a CPU cooler that comes with your graphics card or like another piece. It all depends on what you get. And then next to that is the case, which keeps everything together. Now the one I got is a mini Pro or mini case because I wanted to maximize the space that I have. You can definitely build something bigger if you want to add more parts or if you want to have more space for decorating, but I just wanted something small and a little on the cheaper side. So it's definitely been a few weeks. I know in my last video I said I wanted to post at least once a week for consistency's sake, but there were a couple, I guess 3 reasons for delay, and the first 2 are that we now have kittens. The first one is Artemis, that's our eldest at currently 13 weeks old. She's a feisty little baby who loves her food. And then our youngest at 12 weeks is Hestia, who is pretty chill about food, but she is also just extremely aggressively playful. But she's a little sweetheart. And then another thing that's caused delay is just waiting for all the parts and building this PC. And now that it is built, I'm hoping that it'll help me be a little more productive in my fanfic writing journey. Another thing I want to point out is right here I'm showing 2 different shots of the PC. Now the left one is that CPU cooler I talked about at the very beginning of this video, and for some reason the screws just were not adhering very well to the motherboard, so it was not completely flush with it, which we think may have been the reason that my graphics card has been overheating when I play video games. And so just to see what would happen, we used the original or default CPU cooler that came with one of the other packages, and that is actually flush against the motherboard, and so now the temperature has significantly decreased. So hopefully we can get that figured out, because I really like the colors of the other CPU cooler, but I have a little bit more space with this one. So definitely make sure to keep an eye on the temperatures of your graphics card and your PC in general, because that could cause some issues further down the road.